What's going on, guys? We're live for Week 17 Championship Week. I'm here to answer your questions. I've been trying to go back to the videos and answer some questions, but there was a lot. Internet was getting tricky. I figured I'd jump on here, help you guys out. Any questions you got, start, sits, whatever, drop them in the chat. But I know there's going to be a ramp-up period right now. If you can, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And off-season content is still going to be rolling. We're going to be talking a lot of Dynasty. We're going to be talking a lot about the NFL draft for rookie drafts and fantasy. And that's going to allow us to be able to pinpoint guys to pick up in the later rounds of your drafts and fantasy next year. So when I start talking about these rookies with the Need series, you know that stems from. And some of these later round guys who start getting opportunities later in the season. We also talk about high school recruiting. That's something you may want to pay attention to as well, because I just do it because I love it. I just want to keep watching ball, staying sharp throughout the off season, and sharing what I learned. Half of what my content is looking up the stats and information and just sharing what I learned, and then you guys run with it and do what you want, because I have a smart fan base. You guys can look at the numbers. I curate them for you when I find them, and you guys can figure it out, because I know you guys can, and I'm just here to help be a resource for you. But if you have any questions or anything, feel free to drop it in the chat there. I'm here to help you out. I'm here to do what I can. I look at other rankings and stuff too when I do this. That way, since I'm such an upside guy, I like to take risks. I can dial myself back a little bit because that's in my portfolio. I'm not afraid to swing for the fence in a lot of lineup decisions. And I know that's a weakness of mine because I'm a degenerate. I wouldn't say gambler because I don't really bet because I do so much content. But if you need help with your lineups, just drop them in the chat. Dropping a video later today. I just finished that up on Cam Williams, 4-star/5-star wide receiver prospect for Notre Dame. I'm also going to be dropping like a 2023 video on fantasy football websites and ranking them on a tiers list. I have not started filming that one, and I have no idea what I'm going to say. I'm also adding stuff to the tier list about more sites and stuff, but pretty much just going to have fun with that. Be on the lookout for that. That might help you with what websites you want to subscribe to over the next off season. Still waiting for the chat to fill up because it usually takes a few minutes. Make sure you hit that like button, tap that, hit that subscribe button. Really helps out the channel. And over the off season, going heavy on the rookies like always, doing something new, especially with the rookie wide receivers for the 2024 class. I'm going to have something new for the rankings, and it's going to be a series each week with that. And the reason why, because if I start ranking now, then it's just going to be the same thing over and over. And I kind of want something kind of fresh each week where you tune in and it's a little bit different. The first episode is going to be weird. And we got our first question here from, thank you for dropping it in. Metcalf, Chase, Zamir, bench one. I'm leaning towards benching Chase. Fundamentals would say, I don't know if you kind of wrote that in. Let me look at because that injury, that's kind of weird. And if your gut's saying that and we have a reason for that, I can't go against that. I can't really say don't do that. And because my gut kind of felt the same way. And let's look at this. 4-4 has them ranked 75th overall this week, right now. And they're usually quick to update their changes. So that's something to look at here. They got Zamir ranked 44. They got Zamir ranked higher. And then you're looking at Metcalf. He did have like a little injury. He's at 72. He had a back flare-up or something, I think, around Thursday. Things get a little bit weird with the injury news around the holidays. I noticed that last week. He's in a weird game script. The 4-4 metric says the game script's going to be a little tighter against Pittsburgh. I feel like, look at what they give up the wide receivers here. We looked at that like last week in a video, and I feel like they're up and down. They're ranked 14th. They got them ranked like one of the tougher pass offenses, and I think it's just really the flow of the game. T. Higgins scored 20 on Pittsburgh last week. DJ Montgomery scored 10. And then, we had a slew of games. Green Bay, Cleveland, Cincy, Arizona, where a wide receiver did not score double digits, and Puka did. Looks like wide receiver one score on them. The wide receiver one score on them, and then ancillary jabroni wide receivers don't. That's one thing to look at. But, if your gut's screaming, I understand. And 4 for 4 saying, hey, feel that way too. Zay Flowers, Ayuk, Mike Evans, Olave, bench one. I'd bench prize Zay Flowers. I like Evans, Olave, and Ayuk. I mean, that's a good three-headed monster right there. I feel trusty with that. I feel good with that. What's up, Jamie? What's going on? Yeah, I do start sits. I had slow internet forever. I live out in the country, and I just got fast internet for the first time about a month or so ago. So I got Starlink, the Elon Musk internet, and I'm just now figuring out live streaming. I've been live streaming almost every week. The holidays and stuff sometimes gets in the way, but every week, Sunday morning, I've been trying to live stream. Next year, I'll be doing it more because I have fast internet now, and I'm just right now figuring things out. And a lot of times keeping up with chats and all that, I'm just using this as an opportunity to learn and get better. I have OBS and stuff too. I can probably do more things, but still figuring it out. Probably live stream some gaming as well in the off season. Off season gets really weird and slow, but I don't really stop. I just keep going with content. Next question was from RK. How would you rank Jags, Bears, Houston? Let's look up 4 for 4 because I shoot off the hip too much. I don't trust myself. And I'm in a lot of leagues where I don't have defenses, so I don't really look at that too much. Jags, Bears. So Jags, Bears is ranked 5 against Atlanta. Jags. They got Jags down there. Jags, Bears, Houston. Let's look at that. Texans, Tennessee. That could be a weird matchup. That could be Jacksonville, Carolina. That could be a slower matchup. So I would probably I could make a case for all three of those game scripts breaking one way or the other. I could definitely see that. I could make the case where Carolina, they got Carolina versus Jacksonville ranked 13th. I don't know if I completely agree with it. The only way I could see that being ranked middle of the pack or lower is if Carolina strings something together later in the game. Raiders, you're not talking about Raiders, but Texans, Tennessee's right next to it. Tennessee's a pass funnel defense. Texans should be able to throw the ball with Stroud through the air. That scares me, which means Tennessee could run back fantasy points. That could be a game script that I think could go hog wild. I think the Bears in Atlanta is a little bit safer due to the game script being slow. But if I want to shoot for upside, maybe Jaguars versus Carolina, because you got a rookie quarterback. Thielen was dealing with an injury earlier this week. I don't understand why they got I think they're going off of team defenses and stuff and scoring. I feel like the Bears-Atlanta games is a tricky one, but if you want to go safe, you can go Bears. If you want to shoot for upside, I do Jaguars. I'm an upside guy if I need the upside. Especially got hurt last night by CeeDee Lamb or something. I do the Jaguars. I'm also worried about, because I know from doing the video a couple days ago that their spread's a little bit thick. Carolina on some comeback points could hurt you there. I think I'd do Jaguars for the upside, but if you want to play it safe, Bears and Atlanta, that could be a slower game, but it could just break too. Also, guys, if you want, since I take a little time on the questions, if you want to help people out, go ahead. Feel free. We're just a family here talking ball. Zamir White or DeVon Achane? I've had that question a million times. Let's see what 4-4 is saying. The Ravens matchup. That's an interesting one, and that could lend to things, but DeVon Achane's DeVon Achane. And 4-4's got them ranked right next to each other. I do like the Indy matchup for Zamir. I do like that he's like top 5 in opportunities these last 2 weeks. DeVon Achane's more of a wild card because you know he's DeVon Achane. You know the Dolphins are going to be moving the football. They're going to try and keep it fast-paced. That's how they roll. What I would say here is trust your gut on this one. I feel like Zamir White, due to the matchup and due to the opportunities, because I know or I have a very good feeling he's at least going to get 15 plus touches. That makes him a little safer. I think like every other matchup, DeVon Achane has a shit ton of upside. And I know the Dolphins always have a shit ton of upside. And I get it. The matchup against Baltimore is horrendous. And I get it. And that makes it unsafe. But DeVon Achane makes it an upside play. If you want to shoot for the upside play, go with DeVon Achane. And Zamir White's a little safer due to the matchup. And you know he's getting the touches. That's what we're going to say on that one. But 4-4 saying the same thing. They have Zamir White ranked 14th. They have DeVon Achane ranked 15th. My gut is saying, hey, Colts defense, he's getting touches. That's very safe to me. DeVon Achane's a moonball player. And you can't always trust it one way or the other. And that's really the analysis on that. Moonball or nothing on that. Because that's where it is. Let's go to the next one here. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Always. Oh, you guys stopped on week 15. I kind of been going off and on. I'm still trying to learn the live stream thing and with the internet, filling it out. I don't think I started live streaming till probably about after Halloween. I had to upgrade my internet a little bit more. I had to add to my Wi-Fi system because I have a huge house. Not trying to brag or anything, but my house is pretty big. And I had to reach it to this corner of the house. And this is kind of like a mud room. So here's where I'm filming. I got a TV where we watch TV right there. This is a whole couch that wraps around. My wife's got a craft area there. And then the garage, my garage gym's over in there. So we're over to the other side. So I had to really configure things. And it took me a little bit of time. So I'm just now feeling out this process out. But I want to live stream more, especially next year during the redraft season. Off season, I got to feel that out. I don't know. Off season content's weird because it's like you got to figure out who's watching what and then flow towards that. And draft, like I got an idea because it all goes in seasons for mini camp, training camp, NFL draft, dynasty, all that stuff. Zamir White, Bijan. So I'm going to say very similar to DeVon Achane. Zamir White just got a safer play this week with the Colts. Simpler matchup, simpler in touches. You don't have the Arthur Smith headache. Bijan Robinson's got the Bears. Running backs can score fantasy points on the Bears, though. Like, 4-4 doesn't have the matchup here graded that well. But earlier in the season, running backs were scoring better on the Bears. Let's see. They're ranking 13th. And people like to go, hey, this defense ranks 13th in fantasy production. But really look into it because running backs can go off. Like James Conner scored 17 last week. Week 14, Gibbs got 14. Catching balls too. And that's up to Bijan's alley. Jahmyr Gibbs twice. Double digits on them. But Monty was out. Monty, both of them scored. Austin Eckler catching passes on him. This could be a Bijan matchup. This could be a Bijan. Jaleel McLaughlin earlier in the season catching passes. Running backs catching passes on the Bears. You see that? Jerick McKinnon scoring 14 on them. That's what you need to look at. People or fantasy analysts will say this defense ranks X against the run. But look into how these running backs are scoring against them. Jerick McKinnon scored 14 on him. Isaiah Pacheco scored double digits. Rashad White, but he's Rashad White. He's getting touches no matter what. Aaron Jones. There's a good indicator here that Bijan could hit this week. There are some indicators like that. But if you look at their site, you're saying they have a bad matchup. But you're seeing some good indicators. I look at this as a coin flip. Zamir White's a little bit safer because he doesn't have Arthur Smith to contend with. But Arthur Smith, once he gets a little heat in the media, you'll see him kind of revert back and then revert back the other way a few weeks later. I think it's a coin flip, and the fact that it is a coin flip says a lot about Zamir White. So, sorry that's not clear, but if you look at that with Bijan Robinson looking at the Bears here, more optimal matchup than what it sounds like. You're just not going to trust it. I trust Zamir White, but I also know that Bijan's going to be more likely going to be in a better matchup than what it says. I want to start both as well, too, because I think they're both in great matchups with good game scripts. What's up, LCP? Hey, y'all. What do you guys think? Full PPR, Barkley, Zamir, White, or Zay Flowers? That's a very good question. I'm going to look at the overall ranks here, 4 from 4. Full PPR. Let's change. Let's go look at PPR here. 4 points per touchdown. I think they're going to have Barkley ranked really high. Barkley, 28. Zamir's 53. And Zay, 74. My gut was leaning that way, but it is against Miami. That's a weird matchup because of the secondary, but the volume in that game's going to push it. I think Zamir and Barkley safer due to running back touches. You're getting 2 running backs that's going to be getting opportunities up there. It's not a great matchup against the Rams, though. That's the one thing you want to think about. And the quarterback situation is very weird and sketchy. Barkley's a little sketchy. Flowers, considering he's in that Baltimore offense, you're in a weird game script as well. That's going to be a entirely weird game script. I'm expecting the pace to be pushed. I don't know if that's going to lead to production, but I'm expecting the pace to be pushed in that game. I could see him hitting. I would roll Zamir White for sure. Barkley, he's going to be getting opportunities. He's going to be getting chances. Zay Flowers, if your gut is Barkley, and you got to play your gut sometimes, I would use Flowers to switch if your gut says it. If it's not, if you're cool with the opportunities because you know White and Barkley's going to get it, then roll with it. But Barkley, again, like Christopher says down there, that defense and the matchup, the quarterback play, even if they got him ranked really high, if your gut's roaring to Flowers over Barkley, and I don't know if you're starting 1 and 2 or 3 of them ranked. Zamir White, pure safest out of the bunch for sure. I guess I should have read that better, but I'll rank him this. Fundamentals, Barkley, Zamir, Zay Flowers. Ranked in safety position, Zamir White, and then toss up between Barkley Flowers because Barkley could fall on his face due to that matchup, but Barkley could hit on the opposite end of the spectrum due to opportunities. He could be getting 20 to 30 opportunities this week, and that could be just him scoring enough to get you by. Zay Flowers, same thing in the passing game. You just got to see where the targets are distributed. If you're starting 1, if you want to feel safe, Zamir White. All right. Let's see here. I scrolled down a little too far. Now I got to catch where I'm at here. I'll go. Zamir White or Aaron Jones? Look that up real quick. My dog's barking. I'm going to have to let her in to go potty through the dog door. I know you don't hear that too often on streams. So Aaron Jones against Minnesota. Zamir White. Aaron Jones has been hot lately. Aaron Jones has been used in the passing game a lot. And Minnesota's got the change in the quarterback here. Both of them, I feel like game scripts could lean their way, actually, especially with the quarterback change at Minnesota. It's more of a coin flip. I think both of them are fairly safe. PPR-wise, I think Aaron Jones is pretty safe this week. They got Aaron Jones ranked ahead of Zamir White, but it's not by much. Ranked 49 overall versus 53 overall. They're saying that's a coin flip as well. I'm saying I think the fact that Zamir White can make it a coin flip with some of these running backs is saying something about Zamir White. If your gut's rolling for Zamir White, roll with it because he's getting touches, top 5 in opportunities last 2 weeks. The Raiders are still going to run the ball. We're against the Colts here. They allow a lot against the rush. They're third in the NFL, allowing fantasy points to running backs. Running backs have been hitting lately. There's only been 2 games on the Colts season where a running back has not hit for 10 fantasy points in that contest against the Colts. Only 2. The rest of them, you're at least getting 10 or more, and usually more like 11 or 12 or more. They've usually been scoring a little bit more than 10 on the downside. If you want to think about that, Aaron Jones is pretty safe as well. He's going to be getting workload and opportunity. I think they're both going to be safe assets. I'd flip the coin here. I feel good about it. If I had them in multiple leagues, about 60-40 Zamir White, probably. But I'd be also starting a lot of Aaron Jones. But I'd roll the gut on that. That's probably something I'd look at and click the button really fast on. But that's a good one. Thank you, Christopher, for answering some questions. It really helps out the chat. It helps you guys too as well. It also helps me as well, so I can get a good idea of the market of what people are thinking as well. Achane or Aaron Jones, non-PPR. Non-PPR makes things interesting. I'll make sure I didn't jump over anybody. All right, Achane and Aaron Jones, non-PPR. I'll say this. If you want to play it safe, go with Aaron Jones. He's guaranteed touches and targets. I know it's PPR and targets don't mean as much, but that's still volume. Achane, Mostert's out, and he's a home run play. He's Keaton Mitchell on steroids. If you need to swing for the fence and you need to swing hard, even though there's a chance, since it's against Baltimore, that you could strike out, then you may have to pull that string, especially when against CeeDee Lamb, especially if you're going against an offense that's stellar. That's what I would do. If you just need to get by at this position, you need to make sure you get by, I would go Aaron Jones. That's how I would play that. That's how I would look at that strategy-wise. I'll be right back. The dog's barking crazy. I'll be right back. She'll probably jump on camera with you guys for a second. Coco. Come on. Girl. All right, I'm back. She's staring at me. She's about to go potty or whatever. She's doing something. She's probably going to bark at the door again to go back out. That's crazy. Thank you, RK, for watching. You guys are much appreciated. I love you guys. Agent non-PPR, Zamir or Ken Walker. Let's see what they got here. They got Ken Walker and Zamir White ranked next to each other in the rankings. Ken Walker questionable. Zamir White. It's another coin flip decision. I think Kenneth Walker has a shit ton of upside in this matchup. I think the Seattle-Pittsburgh game script's going to go crazy. I think it's going to be a weird one. It could be either way, though. That's the thing about that. I really like the Seattle-Pittsburgh game scripts. I really think those two teams could be good dancing partners for fantasy production. Seattle, earlier in the season, you could throw on them a little bit. It's hard to trust Pittsburgh, but they're always super gritty. I think those two would be good dancing partners for fantasy production. I like Zamir White. I like the matchup this week. I think odds are good. He gets you at least a 10 spot. I think Kenneth Walker, he's going to be getting touches. He's got tons of upside. And then we're looking at the Steelers against running backs. Let's look at that real quick for you. Steelers. Ranked 12th, 17.9 PPR. Wait, is that even PPR? Let's change that. The full PPR. Now let's look at that. 13th, 21.8 PPR points per game to running backs. I forget if you said it was PPR or not, but you kind of make some correlations there. And lately, let's see, last game against the Bengals, snuffed them. Zach Moss scored 12.3 in week 15. Ezekiel Elliott scored 27 in week 14. 22.5. That's Arizona. That's James Conner. 11.9 by Jerome Ford. They're allowing double digits to somebody every matchup, except for that Bengals game. Every game this season but one. Double digits to somebody, looks like. Unless my eyes are crossing this Jackson. Oh, yep. Double digits. Unless my eyes are crossing up and missing something, just about every game but that one. Maybe this Green Bay game. About two in the season, they have not allowed double digits to somebody, PPR wise. He's at least going to score enough to get you by. The odds are low that he scores less than 10 for Kenneth Walker. And he's got upside to that 4.3 speed. And I think these two teams are good dancing partners right now. Last 3 weeks, they've been allowing more fantasy points by 9.7% than the average. 24 points per game PPR versus 21.9. I think there's going to be opportunities in that matchup. Again, it's a gut decision overall, but I think if you really want to play it safe, Zamir White is pretty safe. Zamir White, I mean, Kenneth Walker's got a lot more upside. He's pretty much got the same amount of safeness. He's in a decent matchup too. The Colts are giving up more on the rushing department when it comes to fantasy points. But again, Walker's more of an upside player due to that speed. So if you want to hit for that home run or swing for that, I'd go Walker. If you want to play safe, I think White has a good chance of getting you a 10 spot at least and keeping it rolling. So that's where I would roll. I mean, there's upside too because he can score touchdowns, but we're looking at odds here. What is next here? We got, looks at, sorry if I skipped anybody, but it looks like Jared Hamlin might be next. Achane, let me look, see if there's any super chat. Nope. All right. Achane, where are you at? Where are you at? I lost my chat. Let's see here. Here we go. Achane or Aaron Jones. I think I just did that. Ken Walker. I'd go with Walker over Chandler. Risk it. Walker over Chandler. I don't mind that. I don't mind Walker over Chandler. Let's see what they say. I don't mind. He's questionable. If he's out, then you obviously you're going Chandler. Chandler 56 overall. Walker 52. And I think, like I said, I think Seattle and Pittsburgh are good dancing partners for fantasy production. I think they're great. I think this is going to be it's going to be a funny matchup either way. It could be bad, but I really just think they're going to be good for a game script here. I can get us some fantasy points. I don't hate that at all. What's next? Kyler Murray or Baker Mayfield? Let's look. Kyler Murray or Baker Mayfield? Let's see here. Baker Mayfield 9, Kyler Murray 11. You got Philly. You got Mayfield. Another toss-up scenario here. What's up with Marquise Brown? Did he end up being out? Because I know he's always on IR, of course. So I would roll with Baker. You know what? Coin flip here due to the rushing production. As also against Philly. Philly's a great dancing partner for a quarterback like that, especially through the air. I feel a little bit safer with Baker Mayfield. I think New Orleans Saints are going to push the game script here. I think the Saints are going to throw it deep on Tampa Bay here because I really see that happening because every NFL team does. Their pass funnel defense, probably the biggest funnel to the pass out of all the defenses. And you're really hoping the Saints connect here. And if they do, Baker Mayfield has to come back and keep slinging it to Mike Evans and Godwin. That happens, you're having a big day for Mayfield. And this is the matchup to do so. So guys like Rashid Shaheed, guys like that are promising players this week or upside players they can throw up in your lineup off waivers. I like that matchup. If I'm ever going to start Baker Mayfield, if I have to, it would be in a matchup like this where you have is Chris Olave in? I'm pretty sure he's in. I'm getting a lot of questions still about him. But Chris Olave, good to go. Yeah, I think I'll roll with Baker Mayfield. I like that matchup. Looks like we got super chat rolling in. So let's see what that. Need upside. Deontay Johnson, London, Demarcus Robinson, or Jalen Warren PPR start 2. All right. Great question here because those are like Deontay Johnson's been kind of like on the down. Again, 4-for-4 does not like the Seattle matchup. I think Vegas is saying a little different. I see these two teams being a good pair to put up production, especially Pittsburgh on the road here. And then Deontay Johnson scoring wise, you also got the quarterback changes and everything else. Deontay Johnson's coming off a low game. That's against Cincinnati. That was a weird game script. But prior to that, you're looking at 16, 14, 13, 9, 3, 2. It's like up and down. See, on the road at Seattle. I like Deontay. And then London is the wild card player here because you got the Bears. And that is just a weird game in general because you just look at his scoring 6, 10, 11, 21, 14, 11. You can deal with that. And then you get the 5 spot. Then you get to 18. And let's see. They're usually in games where the game scripts are weird. Like Indy's always a weird game script. Carolina, we knew that one was going to be a weird game script. But pass funnel defenses, they work well against. In theory, I would roll those two. But then you're looking at Demarcus Robinson against the Giants. I would say this. If I did not like Drake London, then I'd go Deontay Johnson, Demarcus Robinson. If I wanted to go straight fundamentals here, I would go Deontay Johnson, London. That's how I would do it. But if I wanted to go against fundamentals, I would go Deontay Johnson, Demarcus Robinson. That's just how your gut is playing because I do like that matchup for him. Definitely, though. I got another super chat down here below from Lex Dad. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat too, as well. Jonathan, and his is PPR bro. Next, need a flex. Zamir White, Ty Chandler, Pacheco. Let's see what 4-for-4 says. It's hard for me to ever go against Pacheco, and it's a concussion that he's coming back from. They got him as 30 overall. And then, I can't go White. I got to type in Zamir. And they got Zamir 53. And it's between Zamir and Pacheco instantly for me. That's how I'm thinking. And it's against Cincinnati. And the matchup against Cincinnati, let's see what the Bengals are looking at here. I just covered them. 16th against the run. Against running backs, not against the run. Allowing fantasy points to running backs. We got this at the PPR. I mean, they allowed a good clip to Ty Chandler. Both Najee and Jalen Warren hit for double digits PPR fantasy points. They shut down Zach Moss. Jacksonville, Travis Etienne that hit for 17.9. Najee Harris hit for 15.9. Gus Edwards hit for 21. Singletary hit for 23. I feel good with Pacheco. I feel like he's the safest out of the bunch. And then you also got Mixon in that matchup. I still feel a little bit safer with Pacheco. In that. I think Mixon's a good wild card. If I had to rank them, because you got a great flex situation here, but if I had to really rank them, Pacheco, Mixon, Zamir, Chandler. That's how I would rank them. And that's due to safety net wise as well. If you're shooting for upside, you can pick really any of them. You can feel good about that. But if I had to rank them, Pacheco, Mixon, Zamir, Chandler, that's how I would roll with that. All right, let me move back up to the chat where I was at. This is starting to get flooded. So if you guys want to help each other, that would be great as I work through your guys' chats here. So, yeah, sorry if I miss any of you guys. Chase out. I might have been on here when that officially came out. Let me double check that. I just read that. It was 4 hours ago, but Did someone drop on Twitter that Chase is out? Because I probably was sitting on here when that news dropped. Let me check Shefty real quick. Ain't got it at the top yet. Is Chase out? Maybe I read that wrong. Let's see here. Ooh. I got this one here. I would go Puka over Cup, but it's a ice cream. I would go Puka over Cup, but that's more of a preference thing. And honestly, between the two, it's really game script dependent. It's against the Giants. Very wonky matchup. You could flip a coin on that one, though. It just really depends on what happens. I think Puka, just deeper targets, just been hitting in general. Cup has as well. I just feel a shade safer with that. Zamir, Travis, Etienne. I just picked a spot in the middle. I'm sorry, guys. I think Travis Etienne is safest bet here. This is a good get-right game for him. He's getting touches and workload, and he's going to be getting volume. They're both getting volume. They're both in great matchups. That being said, I'm probably going to go with what got me there. Sub Jamie, Curtis Samuel, or Gibson currently have Curtis starting. I feel better without Curtis Samuel. Let me double check the matchup here. I feel better. My gut honestly rolled with Curtis Samuel. Yeah, against San Francisco. Curtis Samuel tends to hit against tougher defenses, and I think that's due to the having to check it down. He's getting the shorter ADOT and getting the yards after the catch. It's going to be really hard to feel good about Antonio Gibson anyways against San Francisco because it's San Francisco. And they tend to give up fancy points to wide receivers, and that's usually the case because sometimes it's just easier to just throw it and keep it in the air. It's more efficient for teams anyway, especially against a tougher defense. I think Curtis Samuel's got a good shot. I think that's a good process right there. And I'm trying to work my way. Sorry if I missed any of you guys. Vegas or Denver defense. I'm going to check that out. I'm not in many defensively. I'm in a lot of IDP leagues. And there I fade defense in drafts, and I chase snap counts, which kind of sucks because you got to do a lot of work throughout the week. So Broncos, got that matchup. Oh, because the quarterback Raiders. Upside play, I'd do the Broncos, do that quarterback situation and hope for the best. There's a good chance that game could be wild. There's a good chance. There's a good chance the Raiders-Colts game is going to be wild too. That's the thing about that. I feel a little bit safer, and I feel good chasing the upside just in case the quarterback play gets horrendous there. But, yeah, coin flip scenario, thinking about it, quarterback situation for the Chargers is probably leans me towards the Broncos on that one. All right, let me let the dog back out the other way because she's scratching at the door. There you go. All right, I'm back. All right, let's see where we're at here. I was moving my way up on questions. I'm getting low. Let me double check the bottom, make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, now I got to get back. What's up, Toronto Dave? I see you in here. What's up, my man? I hung out with you in Canton. What's going on, dude? So, let's see here. I'm getting a lot of Zamir White or DeVon Achane. So, I feel like I'm going to go over again because I feel like I just scrolled it and I saw a lot of those questions going over again. Said this earlier. DeVon Achane, more of a swing for the fence play because of that Ravens matchup. Zamir White, more of a play that's a little safer. You do have some upside there, but we all know DeVon Achane's DeVon Achane. So just schematically, when we're setting our lineups here, when we look at this, how I'd look at the team I'm going against. If I need pure upside, if I need to swing for the fence anywhere in my lineup to match up against my opponent's lineup because I have good feeling they're going to hit this week, then I'm probably going to swing for the fence with DeVon Achane, and I'm going to hopefully cash in with a couple touchdowns because that's part of his game. However, there is a downside effect because it's the Ravens defense. But I'm pretty sure Dolphins are going to try to push the pace, and hopefully that leads to fantasy production on both ends. The caveat to that, Zamir White, great situation. The Colts have only allowed, 2 games this season where there was not a running back that did not score at least 10 PPR fantasy points. So even if Zamir White, since he's only got like 2 starter games under his belt, just his inexperience or whatnot, I start using Amir Abdullah more, that starts factoring in. There's a good chance that he scores enough to get you by. There's a good chance. I feel like he's a shade safer to get you to that flat line to get you by for the week. And he also has the upside if he gets to the goal line. But we all know DeVon Achane upside. If you got to shoot for that upside, then you go Achane. If you're needing to be at that flat line level, Zamir White's safer to get you there. And it's all about strategy when you're setting your lineups, not player good, player bad. You got to look at that and you got to roll with it that way. Look at your team. Look at what you're looking at here. If they hit with CeeDee Lamb, you're probably praying with DeVon Achane. Achane, or however you said it, heard a million different ways since his high school days. But I hope that helps since a lot of you guys are watching, trying to get that question answered. I'm working my way back up to the top, but I may answer questions in between. I see Zamir White versus Nico Collins from Leroy Sanchez. Looking at that one. The thing about Nico Collins is he's in a great situation here against Tennessee. I think he's pretty safe to hit as a wide receiver 1. I think Zamir White is safe with being a running back, getting a lot of opportunities against a defense that allows a lot of fantasy points to running backs. It's very consistent. I think very similarly versus the HN thing. However, let's see what 4-4 ranks is. I kind of want to shoot for more upside. I think Nico Collins. I think he's going to be safe. I think CJ Stroud's back. You're going against defense. You're going to want to throw it against. You're going to want to throw it downfield. I would probably do Nico Collins. It's more of a coin flip, though. It's closer. I would do Zamir White and Eckler. That's a tougher one because in my head, my gut goes to Zamir White, but I do not know if we've been just talking about him so much that I think Eckler's a little bit unsafe. It's against Denver, though. Running backs can score on Denver. 4-4 has Austin Eckler a little bit ahead of them. I think opportunity-wise, Austin Eckler is about similar to Zamir White. I think matchup-wise, not too far off. I think it's more of a coin flip. My gut is going with Zamir White, and I'm just really G-checking my gut here. There's a lot of volatility with Austin Eckler as of late because of the Chargers. If I don't like that, if I don't like the quarterback play, if I think it's weird, I think this is going to be a weird game script one way or the other, then I'm rolling with Zamir White. I think Zamir White's good to at least get you to that flat line. I definitely feel like that's a great possibility. I think Austin Eckler is in a good situation to get opportunity. So I think it's more of a coin flip. My gut, instantly when I saw that, went with Zamir White, and I just had to check myself before I wrecked myself. But checking myself, I see fundamentals saying that they're more of a coin flip because of opportunities and due to the matchup. My gut just goes with Zamir, and I don't know if I trust it or not, but if your gut goes one way or the other, roll with it, and no one's going to hate you for that. Would you start Jonathan Taylor or Zamir White? I'd start Jonathan Taylor. I'd start Jonathan Taylor over Zamir White and pray to the gods. I'm sorry if I missed somebody. The chat got kind of crazy. If you guys can, please help each other out. Plus, we're about 30 minutes away from kickoff. Bijan lost me week 1 in the playoffs. How do you trust him on the road? Him? I trust Bijan. I don't trust Arthur Smith. So the thing about Bijan, I talked about Bijan about 20 minutes ago. And going back, looking through his matchup here, he's kind of in a situation where it's kind of optimal for him against the Bears. The running backs that have been hitting against the Bears are usually more pass catching running backs. And so he's in a situation where he could be hitting this week. However, with Bijan, trustability wise, because Arthur Smith, he may not even be looking at those numbers. He may not even care. He may just raw dog it with Tyler Algier. And really, you got some chance with that. I think probability-wise, there's a good chance that he gets you enough to get you by and does have some upside in this matchup. But there's also that downside, and it's a downside that comes every 3 to 4 weeks where they get weird with him. And you can't predict that because it's kind of like a hair trigger thing with Arthur Smith. So I think until Arthur Smith or they change things, you're always going to have trust issues with Bijan Robinson. But you're also going to remember the good times. You're also going to remember the steady times. This could be a matchup where he's just steady. And it could be a matchup where if you don't put him in, you could be frustrated. I think it's a gamble either way. If you set him, it's a gamble if you just completely trust Arthur Smith. So I do have trust issues. I do. But I have to realize and factor it in with Bijan Robinson that it's game-to-game, matchup-to-matchup, and it's something I can't control, and it's something that you can't really forecast because it just happens at weird moments. And then on top of that, when you look at the other running backs ranked around him, they have their weird moments too. It's just not like the Arthur Smith way where it's just because of a headache or because of this and that. It's just not as weird. So, of course, I don't trust him, but I like the matchup when I look historically from what the Bears did with running backs throughout the rest of the season. PPR, Higgins, I'm sorry if I missed over anybody. Drop the question again, and you guys help each other out. We're getting closer to kickoff, and I'm not expecting the chat to really jump off like this, and I'm still trying to get used to streaming since I just now got fast internet a few weeks ago, about a month and a half. So Higgins, Ridley, and Lockett. Gut went to Higgins. What's up with Ridley? Something weird in my back of my head said something weird was going up with Ridley. He's got Carolina, though. I'll say this about Carolina. They have game scripts where the wide receiver one, will either hit really big or not hit at all. And he's a little bit of a gamble because we saw that with Drake London. And the game script could be weird there. It could be slow. Lockett. I'm just going to pull him up here. Lockett, that's that Pittsburgh game. So Higgins for sure. It's a toss-up between Ridley and Lockett. And it's that Pittsburgh-Seattle game. And I think that game's going to be crazy. And I think it's going to be weird one way or the other. And I think these two are good dancing partners for fantasy production. I could be wrong there, but I could be wrong on a lot of stuff. I think Ridley's in a matchup here. I could go really, really well or really, really bad. And really, really bad as in it's a slow game. It's a slower volume game. The Jaguars have been up and down. But it could be a game where he gets 2 touchdowns and scores. Toss-up, coin flip. If it was me and I was just looking at these two matchups, fundamental says Ridley due to the guaranteed targets, due to the opportunities. Looking at everything in general, it says it's a coin flip and that Tyler Lockett has to bring in a couple deep balls, and it could be him scoring more than Ridley. Ridley could be on the down end this week. He could be on the up end, and that's just due to that matchup with the Carolina Panthers. That could be a slower game script, or that could be a game script where it's a get-right game for Jacksonville, and they go ham, and that's just part of it. I would look at it that way. Ridley more of a home run play, more of a home run swing with a downside effect baked in there. I think Lockett, it's got his ups and downs as well because he's Lockett, but still we got some upside. Looking for a decent performance here. I think that I like the Seattle-Pittsburgh game. I think you can get some steady results with Lockett, but I think Ridley, he's dangerous either way because if you bench him, there's a risk. If you start him, there's a risk. So if you want to chase that upside, go Ridley. If you want to be a little bit more safer, I'd go Lockett, but there's still downside there. Hopefully that answers your question. Zamir White or Achane? I think I answered that. I think I answered Achane for upside, Zamir White for safety. Higgins 100%. Thank you, LCP, for answering. GB, thank you, LCP. Thank you, GB, for hanging out. Joe Duke, I have Kyler Murray or Mayfield in one league, half PR and Murray or Jordan in another league. Okay, so I like Mayfield's matchup this week. I like Mayfield's matchup against the Saints. I think that one's going to be a fire game script. Kyler Murray's in a great game script. I think they're coin flips, honestly. I think if you're going to start Mayfield, it's a matchup like this. I think if I had to rank them, it'd be like Mayfield and Murray like this. Mayfield a shade ahead because I feel a little bit safer with the game script. But if your gut's going with Murray, roll with it. And then Jordan Love and Murray. Let me double check Jordan Love here. Like, I don't. Sometimes you get questions and you're like, I never really expect that. And that's against Minnesota. You can throw it on Minnesota. I think Jordan Love's going to be semi-safe this week. I think he's going to be semi-safe. I think Murray's got a lot of upside here against Philly. You can throw it on Philly. Number one, allowing fantasy points to wide receivers, but Marquise Brown's not going to be in, so you may not trust that. Jordan Love's going to be safer. He's going to be safer. Zamir, Jamar Chase. Someone in the chat said that Chase was out. All right, Zamir Chase. Let me double check Chase again because someone said earlier that he was out, and I looked him up, and I got the same thing. He's likely to play. And that's against Kansas City. Likely to play, and that was a late report. So fundamentals would say start your studs with Jamar Chase. That's always been the fundamentals, right? So if he's in, if you want to roll with the fundamentals, looks like he's 92% started in leagues. Of course, 99% rostered, and that's on Sleeper. However, with Zamir White, he's safe, super safe. You know he's not going to get pulled due to the injury. You know he's going to be getting opportunities and touches. You know you don't have to deal with weird quarterback play. You know you don't have to deal against this tougher pass defense. And I'm still looking for the tweet saying that he was out. I've been checking Shefty. Someone can confirm that. That's cool. But I'll check Shefty again. I'll do a quick pull down here. He hasn't been tweeting much this last, few minutes. He's got a quick one on who's out and stuff. But that was earlier. Inactive, Hunter Henry, Von Miller, Josh Jacobs, Jacoby Brissett. Actives include Zay Flowers, Puka, Pittman, Cole Kmet, and Murray. I think Zamir White, if you want to play it safe. Jamar Chase, if you want to follow fundamentals and start your studs. And that way you don't have that bad mouth effect if he does just come back and be Jamar Chase. If this game script gets pushed with the Chiefs. But if you just want to play it safe, you want to feel good, get at least your 10 spot, 11 spot, 12 spot, Zamir. That's really how it really depends on what you need out of your lineup as well, especially if you need to shoot for clear upside. Is that Brian Robinson or Brian Robinson's out? So Bijan, a lock. He'll never be a lock with Arthur Smith there. Bijan Robinson will never be a lock with Arthur Smith there ever because of you can't predict if Arthur Smith is just going to get weird. If we throw that out and we look at the matchup here, it's advantageous for him to be using the passing game. Lock, I mean, you don't know what Arthur Smith is feeling right now, what he ate for breakfast or what's going to cause that. And if I said he was a lock or not a lock, that'd be a lie. And I have to talk right here to give you the honest answer. The honest answer is this is a very advantageous matchup. There's a good opportunity for him to be using the passing game and get targets historically when you're playing against the Bears, when you're looking at the points allowed. Pass catching running backs have been doing good. And he's a pass catching running back. Earlier this season, pushing 20% target share, being used in the slot a lot. Looking at historically, he's got a good chance. He's got a good chance this week. Lock is a different thing to say on that because you never trust Arthur Smith. I'm going back down to make sure I didn't get any super chats. Again, thank you guys for the questions. Thank you guys for helping answer the questions. Feel free to keep answering because I'm up here on the questions and the chat just exploded on me. And I'm not really used to that, but we're going to work through that. And I might have missed the super chat. Okay, I did. So I'm going to get to these. So here we go. Sorry for being late on those if I am. Answering question. Flex, Zamir White, Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs. You got a good situation there. You got a great situation there if you're looking at Zamir White, Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs. Pure upside if you need it, Nico Collins. I like Nico Collins this week. I think he's in a great matchup. Stephon Diggs, I'm going to double check him. What's good overall? Like, Stephon Diggs is a little bit risky because he's been on the downs lately. However, he's Stephon Diggs. But you got that New England matchup. They probably got Collins ranked ahead of him. They have to. They do. They got Collins ranked a lot ahead of him. I think I'd rank them Collins, Zamir, Diggs. And the reason why is I like Collins. I feel like he's very safe. Zamir and Diggs is more of like a push. Because Diggs is Diggs. And Zamir, he's going to get you that flat line. I think Collins is I love the matchup there. I love the matchup too much to go against that. A pass funnel defense. CJ Stroud there, slinging it deep. We got Tank Dell out. Noah Brown's been up and down since that knee injury. This is a great matchup. It's hard, like logically, it's Nico Collins for me. I hope that answers your question. You have a great situation. You do not have a bad choice. If you wanted to pick one of those other two, you're good to go. Noah Brown or Lockett. Let me double check what's Noah Brown up to. Because my gut, honestly, went to Lockett. And I'm answering your question, Manny69, just in case I'm late to your question. I know you saw. Thank you for the super chat. I know you sent that in. Brown flex play is what they say. 6-12. Great matchup against Tennessee. Let's double check here. I'm just going to look at the wide receiver ranks. Pull that up. My gut went to Lockett for some reason. Matchup, but I also want to make sure. But I also have the Tennessee matchup. Brown. I think you're good going either way. So they got Tyler Lockett ahead of Noah Brown. Tyler Lockett 27, Noah Brown 35. My gut went to Tyler Lockett. They have Tyler Lockett ranked 27 and Brown ranked at 35. That's 4-for-4's rankings. I said initially my gut went there. Due to that Pittsburgh game, I think it's going to be crazy. I think where they got him ranked in predictions, I think Noah Brown should be closer. I think this pass funnel defense of Tennessee, I think they got him at 10.9 versus 12.2 for Lockett. I know Brown can be closer to that than what they have. And I know it's just hairs there splitting. My gut went to Lockett. I'm not going to sleep on Noah Brown, though. I think this is an optimal matchup here for CJ Stroud, and that means those wide receivers are going to eat. If you want to go Noah Brown, go with Noah Brown. Tyler Lockett, my gut went to. And I just like the matchup, and confirmation from their ranking said as well, too. So that's probably what I would roll with, unless your gut is screaming for Noah Brown, because it's tight. It's tighter for me than what they have. I'll say that much. I get it. It's 27th ranked versus 35. I think in my head, I should be closer in the projections that they have. Even I know it's 2 points, but it should be more like 12.2 versus 12.0 or something like that. That's how I would do it. So I'm working back down through these questions. Thank you guys for jumping in and helping with questions. Thank you guys for asking questions. And the chat's blowing up right now. And feel free to help answer questions. I'm working my way back down. And I do not know if some of these older questions, if you're still here watching even. Zamir White or Derrick Henry? I've gotten a lot of people say they're starting Zamir White over Derrick Henry. I've gotten a lot. I've got that in some chats. I'm going to say that. I've got that in some of the comment sections in here. Derrick Henry, 34. Yeah, 4-4 has him ranked higher, and it's not an optimal matchup. I think you're good either way. I think it's more of a coin flip. Zamir White's probably a little bit safer due to the matchup. We know he's getting a ton of opportunities. Derrick Henry, fundamental wise, he's Derrick Henry. I think points are going to be scored in this game. Tennessee's on the road too. Think of it that way. That's going to a little bit more promising for CJ Stroud to cook a little bit, which means they're going to have to move the ball. I think both of them are good to get you a 10 spot. I don't think you're bad with either of them. Wilson or Jordan Reed? Jaden Reed. Jordan Reed. Oh, man. Brain's starting. Reed's safer. Wilson, fundamentals. Like, I would probably always hit that button on Wilson and just pray to the gods. But, again, Wilson, 24. And that's against Cleveland. And then Jaden, 29. And they're saying the same thing. However, if you're following fundamentals, you'll go Wilson ahead of him. Jaden Reed's in a better matchup. So if you want to go different, that would probably be the play to go different with. That would probably, because you got Love there. You're going against Minnesota. Very optimal matchup here. You're also on the road, so that might help Minnesota push the ball a little bit better, hopefully. But we got Jaron Hall in there. I think Jaden Reed and Garrett Wilson's tighter than what it looks, and I think if you want to go Jaden Reed over fundamentals, then go ahead and do it. I think that's fine. I think that's a fine idea, especially if your gut must be saying it if you're asking that one, because we know Wilson can push a 30% target share in any given week. So if you need the confirmation, do it. Feels good. I'm checking down here for more. Make sure. Sometimes I'll answer a question. A super chat will come in. Let's see here. So if I miss one, just let you know. I'm sorry. Let's see. Ice Cream Head Ache. I'm going to answer that because that's a fun name. Pick 2 running backs. Achane, Zamir, Zeke, Chandler. We're going YOLO, Achane, and Zamir. You got a good combination of safety and upside. Pick 2 wide receivers. DK, Devonta, Godwin. Good. I mean, you got some good problems here. You got some very good problems here. You can go any of those 3 and be good. Let's see here. I'm trying to figure out which one for sure. DK, Godwin. I think fundamentals would push to that. I like the Godwin matchup here. I think I'd go Godwin either way because of that New Orleans. I think that matchup with the Saints Bucks is going to be off the rails. Then you got Devonta, the matchup against the Cardinals. I'd probably go Devonta, Godwin and roll with that. Zamir, Nico, or Stephon Diggs for flex. I think I already answered that one, maybe. But Nico Collins as my top guy. Kyler's Eagles secondary is trash. There you go. What's up, Toronto Dave? Saying what's up again. Good luck, everyone, today. Peace out. See you, LCP. Thank you for answering some questions. Heck yeah. Josh Jacobs is out. Zamir White or Mixon. Good push. It's a good push. I think you got some upside with Mixon. I think he's going to be getting opportunities. You get going up against that Chiefs defense a little bit tougher. Zamir White could just end up being that young player who sputters out on us, but he should get enough opportunities considering what we saw these last 2 weeks that he should be safe to score you a 10 spot, 11 spot, 12 spot. If I had to pick between the two, if I'm running fast through my lineups, I'm probably going to be picking Mixon. However, if I'm really thinking through this, that matchup against the Colts, I'm not sleeping on. Really, it's a coin flip gut reaction, but I feel safe with Zamir. And if your gut goes with Zamir, then you go with Zamir. How about that? Because the fundamentals probably say go with Mixon because you know what you're getting. However, Zamir White is in a matchup here where if your gut says, hey, I like it, I like the opportunities, roll with it. Roll with it. So, Achane Barkley. Barkley's in a tough matchup. Achane's in a tough matchup. Barkley, you know for sure is going to get the opportunities. Achane, you know he's a firework. So Achane, you know you're stepping in the batter's box. You're swinging that bat as hard as you can. If you connect, you're hitting a home run. If you swing, you're going to miss. Barkley, you kind of got a similar scenario, except for you got a little bit more likelihood of hitting contact due to you have a good feeling that there's a chance that he gets about 20 plus opportunities in this matchup. So I'd look at Barkley as a little bit safer option, but Achane as more of a home run swing. If you need that home run swing, you look at that other team and you're like, I need to shoot for 20 to 30 in one of my areas here in my lineup. That might be the spot to do it. If you're looking there and you're like, okay, this guy might have some duds here, and I just need to have things put together. If I limit my risk, I might be okay. Then I'd go Barkley. That's how I would do it. And a lot of times it's not player versus player. Again, like I always say, it's more strategy versus the other guy's lineup, and then taking bets on that. Kamara, James Cook, Collins, start pick 2. That's a good question there. That's a good question. Kamara, Collins feels pretty safe. James Cook, I do not hate. I think Kamara, Collins, they're both going to be in optimal game scripts. So I got a good stopping point. I'm going to look down real quick, make sure I'm not missing any super chats because I don't want you to pay for a super chat and me miss you because we're about to start games. I might have to hop off. Feel free to answer people's questions. So I'm back here, and I'm up here from questions from a bit ago. So Wilson versus Reed. So it says R. Reed. I wonder if you meant Jalen Reed. Well, if it's Jay Reed versus Wilson, then I got that more of a coin flip. If you want to follow fundamentals would say start studs and go Wilson. However, if you look at the game script here with Reed, he's in an optimal game script where you could hit and surpass him. A little bit safer too because you don't have to deal with the Jets. Again, it's coin flipped. If you want to go Reed, and if you're asking that, then go with Reed. McLaurin or Demarcus Robinson. Good question. Good question here because you got that Niners defense, and then you also got Demarcus Robinson not being the number one option. McLaurin, fundamental says to go with him because that's your guy. That is the guy that's, you know for sure. Well, you don't know for sure, but highly likelihood to lead his team in targets. Not optimal matchup. But Demarcus Robinson's more of a gut play against the Giants because he's in a smash matchup for somebody in that offense, especially at the wide receiver spot. Demarcus Robinson has been hot. Demarcus Robinson is a shade safer. He's a shade safer. If you want to lean into that, go ahead. If you want to roll with McLaurin because he's been a top guy-ish off and on throughout the year, roll with that. Demarcus Robinson is a shade safer, but not by much. Zamir White, Achane, or Derrick Henry. I got weird rankings with that one, Ricardo. Zamir White, safest out of the 3. Achane's more of a home run play. Derrick Henry, not too far off from Zamir White, and because of that, game script can get a little bit weird. Zamir White and Derrick Henry is a coin flip. Achane, more of a home run swing, and if you need to make that home run swing, roll with it. However, you may want to pick one between those two. I think Zamir White, probably like, if I got him ranked, it's more like this. And then Achane as your home run swing, probably go with one safe guy, and then Achane. And then my flex wide receiver is Olave. Olave's got a ton of upside this week. Healthy, great matchup. Pass funnel defense. I think I would go Achane. One of those running backs, probably Zamir, but Derrick Henry has got that upside factor. I would probably lean with one of those. Manny, 69, what's going on? Tyler Lockett or Noah Brown? I think I might have answered that one. My gut went with Noah Brown instantly, and then my gut went with Tyler Lockett instantly. Then I looked up Noah Brown, and it was very close. It's more of a coin flip, but my gut went with Tyler Lockett in that moment. Metcalf or Flowers? Metcalf. Chase is playing. Thank you. I looked that up. Someone said the opposite earlier. I had to double check that multiple times. Nico Collins or Cooper Kupp? Coin flip, but Nico Collins, Zamir, or Chase? Fundamentals says Chase. Always start your studs. Safety-wise, feeling good. Know he's getting touches, opportunities. Zamir White. Really depends on how you want to play that. Reed or Wilson. Push and how you want to play it. Fundamentals says start Wilson. However, close. Very close. And if your gut's saying Reed, roll with Reed. Roll with Reed. Because they're close in rankings everywhere. Reed's got a great matchup. We know he's going to be getting opportunities. And sorry I'm being a little bit quicker, but we're kind of to that point. I have Lamar. Should I play Zay Flowers over Pittman just for – now, I would go with Pittman. I would just roll with that. Rashid, Shaheed, Austin Eckler, Zamir White, non-people PPR. Toss-up between Eckler and Zamir White. Non-PPR makes me want to roll with Zamir White. Zamir White or Derrick Henry full PPR. I think that's more of a coin flip push. Shade ups on Zamir White. Derrick Henry's got some upside there that might get tapped into. Drop a like. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Joe Duke. Let's see. Joe Benfield, chasing points. You said chasing points. I mean, I think you're chasing upside. I would chase Diggs. In that targets. All right, what's next? Who to start the ship? Eckler, Henry, Etienne, Achane. You didn't say how many, but let's rank these. It would be Zamir. That's Zamir White. I would go Etienne. Probably Zamir. And then it's a weird push here, depending on what you want to do with upside. It would be Etienne and Achane if you're going straight upside. Etienne, then a push between White, Henry, Eckler, which recently I've been leaning a little bit more towards White, and then maybe Henry than Eckler, or you can flop at Henry than White. But Etienne, White or Henry, probably more White, or Etienne, Achane if you're going straight upside, and you got to look at your opponent's lineup. You got to look at that, because if they hit with Lamb already, or if they're looking like they're going to hit, or if you're seeing some misses there, you may want to play it safe, go White or Henry. Really want to pay attention to that. Play your odds. Pick 2, Bijan, Achane, White. Achane, White's what we're getting a lot here. Safety-wise, and I know there's not much safety with Bijan, but Bijan, White. Upside-wise, Bijan, Achane. Mohims, White, Barkley, Kamara. White, Barkley, Kamara. Kamara for sure. You didn't say if you needed to. Kamara, and then a weird coin flip with White, Barkley. White if you're chasing the matchup and safety. Barkley if you're chasing the touches and him being Barkley. White's probably safer. Barkley because of the Barkley upside, but Kamara for sure if you just need one. Chris Godwin or Ty Chandler in PPR. Chris Godwin, probably a little safer. Ty Chandler if you want to shoot for more upside. You're already starting Nico and Olave. If Olave hits, Godwin's probably going to hit because of the run back play there. If that game script hits, then both those players are going to hit. Smoke and Joe, Walker or Flowers? Kenneth Walker for sure over Flowers. I feel good about that. Full PPR, Rice, Cup, HN. Cup, HN, Rice. That would be how I would rank them. Start Eckler or Zamir. Push, big time push. Really depends if it's PPR or not, and depending if you're feeling good about the quarterback play of the Chargers. Zamir White, maybe a shade ahead of him, depending on how you feel. Hey, Bruce, Pacheco, Zeke, Najee for flex. Pacheco. Steelers isn't a weird matchup. Texans. I feel Texans, but not great on the defensive side, but feel great about Pacheco. Need help. I hope you get your help, Brody. I don't know if I answered. There we go. Pittman, Rice, White. Start 2 PPR. Pittman for sure. Coin flip between Rice and White. White might be a little bit safer due to the matchup and opportunities. Stafford or Allen. Stafford due to that Giants matchup. And I'm answering these a little bit quicker because of we got 3 minutes till game time. And then once it starts, I'm going to have to jump off here. Let's see, DK or Zamir White. DK for upside, Zamir White for playing it safe. DK might splash this week, though, and Zamir White might get you like 10 to 12. Allen or Stafford. Probably go Stafford. Jeff Wilson or Demarcus Robinson. That's a tough one. Probably, if you're shooting for pure upside, Jeff Wilson. If you want to be a little bit more safer because you know what you're going to get, DeMarcus Robinson. Pick 3, White, Achane Bijan, DK. Pick 3. Really depends on how you want to roll with it. If you want to go pure upside, Achane Bijan, DK. If you want to go a little bit safer, you don't have to worry about targets. White, Bijan, DK. If you want to go a little bit safer. We really appreciate your content. Watch daily if I can. Thank you, L Dog. Thank you. Cup or Nico Collins anyway. It's a push with Cup and Nico Collins. Truth, I think I'm leaning more to Nico Collins due to the matchup. Are we talking DeMarcus Robinson or Bijan Robinson? If you're talking Bijan, you're cool with leaving him over Chandler and leave Godwin's cool at flex. I think he's in a great matchup. Derrick Henry and Zamir White's more of a push. It really depends on what you want. If I'm ranking them, it might be like projection-wise, Zamir White right here above Henry, and that's more like opportunities in matchup, following the fundamentals from that. 12 minutes, 58 seconds to kick off on if that's the right Robinson. And then Reed and Wilson, depending on how you want to follow it. Wilson more towards the fundamentals of him being a stud. Reed more due to the matchup and targets and potential game flow. Full PPR, start to Pacheco, Ridley, Flowers, Godwin. Pacheco, Godwin for safety. Ridley, if you really want to shoot for upside because he's in a weird matchup. Juwan Johnson or Jeff Wilson or Deontay Johnson, TE, PPR, tight end PPR. Deontay Johnson, I think I'd roll with that. And Ridley, I trust. I got a good feeling. Yep, roll with Ridley if you feel like your gut's feeling it. There's an up and down factor with that due to that Panthers matchup. We've seen it with some other wide receivers earlier this year with the game scripts being a little bit slower, being hard. But still, there's a lot of upside in that matchup too because it's the Panthers. Eckler, Zeke, Zamir, White, need one. It's going to be a push between Zamir White and Eckler, depending on how you trust the Chargers, but I think I'd probably be going Zamir White. Zamir White, Rice, or Pittman. Pittman for sure. A push between Rice and Zamir. Rice has been hitting lately, so if you want to be a shade safer, go Rice. However, Zamir White and Pittman's fine as well. Zamir, bro. He's telling you go Zamir. DJ Moore or Chuba Hubbard. Full PPR. I think Chuba's a little bit safer due to workload, but DJ Moore is more upside. If I'm shooting for upside, DJ Moore. If I'm shooting for those touches, Chuba. Ridley and Reed's a very interesting dichotomy. Fundamentals would say Ridley over Reed because of Ridley being Ridley in his offense, being number one. We got a matchup here that could go either way. He could go ham or he could go to 0 because of the flow of the game. Reed's a little safer. You know you're going to be good to get around that 10 point. However, Ridley got a lot of upside there. If you're chasing for more of that upside, go with Ridley. Feel good about that. If you're feeling good that if you whiff there, I would definitely go Ridley. Reed's a little bit safer. Zay Flowers or Drake London. I think that's more of a push. I don't trust Arthur Smith that much. Zay Flowers coming in. This is a weird matchup. Zay Flowers in a great game script where things could get pushed. I would go yellow with Zay Flowers and shoot for upside. If I want to play it safe, I'd go Drake London. Zamir White, Bijan, Achane, DK. Pick 3. Zamir White, Bijan. Pick 3. Let's go White, Bijan, Achane. Let's just roll with that. One more, and then I'm hopping off because I got to watch these games. I think I might have forgot to set a lineup or two. Noah Brown or Terry McLaurin? Terry McLaurin, if you want to follow fundamentals. Noah Brown, if you want to chase the upside. There's a lot more upside with Noah Brown. There is. I feel a little bit safer. Terry McLaurin's going to have to hit against this 49ers defense. I know there's a ton here, but a $2 solutions. Thank you for the super chat. I don't see your question. I don't see it. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if you got here we go down here. Kevin Solutions, full PPR need 3. I'm sorry if I'm late and you missed this. And I'm sorry if these players are need 3 Diggs, Devonta Smith, Zeke, JT. So JT off the rip, Zamir White, safety. And then it's a push between Diggs and Devonta Smith. Devonta Smith's got Arizona. So probably JT's Zamir White and Devonta Smith. Hopefully you're still on watching. I did not see. I was going really fast on the chats, working my way down. I'm sorry if I missed that. I'm sorry. Hopefully you were able to see that. But thank you for the super chat, Kevin Solutions. I'm double checking, make sure I didn't miss any more because I was trying to roll down through these, and looks like you got one. Okay, that was the same question. Looks like you asked it twice, but thank you for that. Looks like the games have started. I'm going to hop off here. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I want to thank you guys for a great season. I'll probably be back next week. I'll probably be rolling out content just in case for week 18 if there's people that has that. I do not know. Fundamentals says week 17's championship week. But if I'm the only guy with week 18 content out there and people need it, then I'll be there. I'll probably just dip my toes in the water Monday, Tuesday. Well, the week's weird, but like Tuesday, Wednesday with some waiver wire content and see where you guys are at on the views and stuff. But if you need it, smash that like button and let me know, and I'll keep pumping out content for week 18. But I want to thank you guys, and we're getting late in this, and good luck this week.